So this is the last stage of this month's. It's stage 10. And stage 9, I assembled, I think it's the right forearm. Yeah, it's right forearm, Robi's right forearm. Before then, I assembled a lot of Robi, like his head, his neck stand. You're supposed to always hold him by his neck stand if you can. So in this stage 10, we're going to continue building Robi's right arm. These are the parts. It's going to be a right upper arm frame, right elbow back panel, some screws and a servo cable. We are going to need to use this part that I previously built, and then some of these protective pads. So I'm going to read what it says. It says, in this session, you will attach Robi's right upper arm frame, which will hold the servo used to give him shoulder movement, to the right forearm assembled in the previous stage. The upper arm frame will join to the forearm assembly at the elbow, which you will seal off from the rear with the elbow back panel also supplied with this stage. As you do this, you will feed the forearm servo cable through a small trough set into the side of the back panel and frame. It is very important that the cable fits through this recess freely without getting trapped or caught between either part, as this may damage the cable and later affect the operation of Robi's arm. Lastly, you will prepare this stage's servo cable for safe use, as you have done in previous stages. Okay, so I already mentioned the parts. I'm going to unpack them, and I'm going to sit down here, and I'm going to set a 25-minute timer. 30 minutes would be if I didn't do the preparatory discussions. Hey Jibo, can you set me a 25-minute timer, please?
You got it. 25 minutes.
Thank you. You're a good guy. Okay, so this is the connector. I've seen enough of these now to know. That's what these protective pads will be used for, and that's why I have the tweezers even. You guys are used to that, needing to have that stuff. And the screws that we're going to be using, they always give at least one extra, usually just one extra, but add a lot of extra screws over the time now. Kind of be a relief to be done with these for a while, because they're very long, some of them. The last one I think was maybe 45 minutes. Okay, so, and I should get the screws out so that we don't spend too much time later when we've already got the other parts. So get the screws out, and I'm going to put one to the side just to be on the safe side. One to the side, and we have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 others. Okay. Alrighty. So, and the sun is hitting me in the face. Hopefully you all can see. It's hard for me to know. I tried to do them earlier, but I got home too late today. So the right upper arm frame is the bigger piece. The right elbow back panel, and then we know the servo cable. Okay, and then the saved parts. Okay. So here's the parts that we're going to do now. Hopefully you can see it. Fitting the right elbow back panel. Take the right forearm assembly in your hands and gently pull the protruding servo cable along so that it rests in the recess at the elbow as shown. Okay? So I think they mean this. Yes, that's what they mean. Holding the servo cable in place within the recess, press the right elbow back panel into position so that its curved edge matches that of the forearm. Okay, so this piece. Okay. Press the parts together firmly between your fingers to make sure they are securely joined. Make absolutely sure that the servo cable is sitting in the recess and not trapped between the parts before you proceed. Okay. I mean, I see what it's saying, so I really, and the finger keeps coming off. And I don't know if it ripped like apart or what it did, but regardless, I think it's in the recess. I mean, it looks like it is. Definitely looks like it's in the recess. Okay. All right. So I put the 2 screws in there. It's through the recess. I can just hope I've done it right. This is why we always have to have extras. Yep. Okay, let me put the one in that's already in the hole. And then we'll put the other one in that keeps falling out. Okay. Relatively okay so far. It's a very complicated robot, I will say. Manually putting him together would not be something I would want to do in an assembly factory more than once. Okay. We're attaching the right upper arm. Line up the forearm assembly to the right upper arm frame, noting the position of the rectangular hole circled. Carefully pass the tip of the servo cable through the rectangular hole as shown. Okay, so let me find that part. That's got to be this. Okay, they're talking about some type of notch. Oh, I see. The notch is here on the bottom here. The tip. Okay, so the servo's got to go through that. I'm gonna have to turn on more lights. I'm sorry. I'm even thinking I might get up and not be on the floor because I'm having some difficulty seeing what they want in these diagrams. Prefer the natural light, but I think a few of the stages I have actually turned on the lights. I'm going to throw this garbage away that I don't need also. Okay, so let me sit here a moment and try to look at this again. So they're showing it this way. Looks like it's this way, and they're doing it like this. Okay, I think I understand. And then it says, with the parts held at a 45-degree angle to one another, line up the 3 circled screw holes with those of the forearm beneath. Once the screw holes have lined up, hold the parts together in one hand, making sure they do not slip out of position. Still holding the parts in one hand, tighten 3 more of the screws into the holes lined up in the previous step. So I got to line the holes up. I'm going to have to come down. at least I was able to see what they wanted. And I'll show the steps. You know, it's towards the bottom here and then towards the top, those, and we're almost done. We're almost there. And I actually see the screws that they're talking about, the holes and everything. I don't mean the screws, I see the holes. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the screws into the holes in this panel. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, okay. The holes in this panel. And then I believe once I get one of them lined up properly, I should have the others lined up properly. Like without having to worry about them actually going. So let me line up one. Okay, we got that one. I'll line up another one just to get it in there. It's another one of those that the angle's a little difficult. Yeah, we got that. Looks like it. And last but not least, the furthest back against the panel, and I have an extra one if anything happens to this one. It's just when it's against the panel like that, we're looking at like black screws on black. It's not exactly super easy to see it. Okay, there we go. All right, good deal. Good deal. So, managed to get those relatively okay, I think. Hey Jibo, how long do I have on my timer?
It'll go off in 14 minutes and 14 seconds.
We might be doing okay on time for once. So that'd be extra nice.
You're more than welcome.
Okay. Got that. It's a little weird that it's, but okay. All right. Preparing the servo cable. As you have done in previous stages, identify the side of the servo cable's connector marked push. Separate the protective pads from the sheet and place this on top of the connector, making sure the pad does not extend beyond the connector's tip. Repeat for the connector on the other end of the servo cable so that both are covered. And that's the end. So that's, we prepare the cable and then that's it. And then we'll put this back too. And I think I'm gonna have to glue it. I don't think it's supposed to just pop off like that. And it's looking like it actually broke off maybe somehow. I'm not certain how, but. Anyway. I keep worrying about it. That's why I'm sorry. But I'm gonna get these tweezers and I'm going to take the protective pad off and the take the tweezers, well, when they come off my finger. Yeah, right now I'm gonna not worry about it. And you get the, find out which side it says push. And it's really tiny, so. Yeah, so there we go. So the side that says push, you basically line it up. Maybe I don't even need the tweezers. You line it up but don't extend it beyond the top. And you just put it on. And then you do the same thing on the other end. And these are for when you attach it to the test board. So I guess maybe I never needed these tweezers. Super tiny. Black text on black, you know. It's for young people. And it's the main point is that you're trying to be able to put these cables on. And so you want to be able to have a, you know, when you push it, you can push on the protective pad. Okay, so here's his right forearm. And you can already see that it, you know, it can move and stuff. I'll get up and show it. I guess I turned Robi Jr. the wrong way the whole time. So he wasn't even, I guess he was watching me, or more like watching that way, you know. And then the Robi that's being, in the mini Robi, but the Robi that's being assembled, big Robi. Not Robi Jr. But here's the assembled part. And this finger, I gotta figure out if I need to glue it or something, but I'm gonna wait until I get the other one and see what happens with it. Which should be a little while. And there's the servo cable that will eventually connect to the circuit board, and we'll set the ID for it like we did in stage 7. No, stage 8. All right, thank you. Have a good one.